Welcome to Sewing Anastasia, and today I'm going to teach you how to sew bound buttonholes on your sewing machine. Now, a lot of people create bound buttonholes by hand. There's a lot of hand sewing involved, but today I'm going to show you how to use your sewing machine for all of the steps. So it's going to be quick and efficient. These can also be called double welt or jetted buttonholes because they look just like a double welt or jetted pocket. Bound buttonholes are generally found on coats and jackets, but you can really add it anywhere you have a buttonhole. This is a higher end sewing technique, so you're going to see it on those finer garments. So if you're looking to up your sewing game, definitely try adding bound buttonholes to your next project. And today I'm showing you bound buttonholes because we just released a jacket pattern and bound buttonholes would be perfect for it. And if you're interested in this pattern, you can get it in the Sewing Club at the Sewing Club price, or you can buy it a la carte. So make sure you check it out. There's links down below. So let's learn how to create a bound buttonhole. For this demo, I've cut a piece of fabric, which would be the center front of my jacket where my buttonholes are going to be. And I've also cut 2 additional pieces of fabric, which are 4x4. So I made the square 4x4 because it's an extra 1.5 inches on the outside of my button. So if you've got a really big 1-inch button, you need to make sure you have an extra 1.5 inches going all the way around it. So one of the first things you need to do before you start creating your bound buttonholes is make sure your jacket is put together enough so that way you have your facing on it. You could have a built-in facing that folds over, or you might have a separate facing that you need to sew together. So if you do have a separate facing in your project, make sure you sew your facing on before you start your bound buttonholes. So let's mark out where we're going to put the button. So I'm going to measure 1/4 inch away from the edge. That's the allowance. I'm going to place the button here. You can measure it as well. I always like to just mark on the other side of it so I know how big to make the buttonhole. And I'm going to draw my line here for the center of the button. Now, if we want our buttonhole to be here for the bound buttonhole, we need to draw out a little rectangle here. So this is how big it's really going to be. I want you to visually see this. So we're going to draw 1/4 inch out from that center line on this side and on the other side. So this essentially is going to end up being our bound buttonhole. So with the bound buttonhole, we don't need to just mark it once on the front, we also have to mark it on the other side. And we need this because we need the markings in the back in the exact same place as the buttonhole on the front. My favorite method for doing this is using some chalk paper and placing my facing here on top, the front of my jacket. And now I'm going to chalk out right where that buttonhole is. I like to do the whole buttonhole just so I can visually see it on the other side. And now when we flip it over, we know exactly where that buttonhole is going to be on the other side. And if you don't have chalk paper, that's okay. I'm going to show you another method that works great too in a little bit. Next, you're going to grab the piece of fabric you're using for your bound buttonhole. You're going to make sure you interface it, and then I want you to draw on your buttonhole just like you did on the jacket in the center of this piece of fabric. I used a piece of fusible interfacing on the back just because that's the easiest thing to do. Next, you're going to open up the facing, and you'll notice that I have that mirrored buttonhole over here. So if you didn't have the chalk paper, you could also just measure and draw on another buttonhole. And I've also got one more method for you coming up to make sure they match. But now what we're going to do is take this little piece for your bound buttonhole, and we're going to place the right side of the fabric onto the other right side of the fabric on the front of the jacket. So we're not doing this one over here right now. We're doing the one on the front of the jacket. And what we want to do is line up these 2 buttonholes. So the easiest way to do this is just take a pin and mark it with the corner here, line it up, and then go ahead and put a pin through and make sure you're getting it to come out on the other side to make sure it's nice and straight. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, just fold it back, make sure everything is nice and lined up, and then you can pin it down. Now that everything is matching, we are going to sew the perimeter of this rectangle. I'm starting in a corner, so I've removed my first pin. And I'm going to work my way all the way around this rectangle here. At the corner, needle down, foot up, and turn. Again, when you're at your corners, make sure your needle is in the fabric when you are turning. We get back to where we started. I'm just gonna overlap the stitches by a few to act as my back stitch so I don't have a ton of bulky stitches in there, but it's still going to stay together nicely. And now we can take it out. Now we're gonna open up the buttonhole here. We're gonna cut it like we do a welt pocket. So I'm gonna draw with black where I'm going to be cutting. So we're gonna cut these little triangles essentially and the middle. So the way I like to cut this is fold it in half, and then we're gonna snip to all 4 of the points. And just like a welt pocket, we always wanna make sure our triangles are about a 1/4 inch big. To cut this, I'm going to carefully fold this in half. Going to get a snip into it in the center. You could always use an X-Acto blade too if you have one laying around. Those are very useful. And then once we got a snip in the center, we can go ahead and follow those black lines. Now when you're clipping, you have to clip directly to that corner. I know it feels scary because you're getting so close to that stitch, but it's not going to turn out nice unless you actually clip directly to that corner. Just make sure you don't hit your stitch with the scissors. And now that I've clipped everywhere I had drawn those black lines, we're gonna take the piece of fabric and we're gonna flip it to the back of the garment through this little hole. So now we're gonna push the yellow fabric here to the back of the jacket through the hole. And it's going to pop out here onto the back. So now we have a nice finished hole basically on the front of the garment. So now we're going to go do some ironing. We're going to iron this flat and then we're going to iron in our welts for the bound buttonhole. Now I'm going to iron this flat from the back, and then I will flip it over to the front and just make sure everything is nice and crisp. Looking great. So we are not done ironing yet. So now what we want to do is create the welts. So we take our fabric and we're going to fold it 1/4 inch up because that's what we left for the welt. And then you're going to iron that side down. And then we're going to take the other side. We're also going to fold it 1/4 inch back. You can also take the little piece of fabric that you have here, which should be 1/4 inch, and that you can use that as a guide. So you're going to fold it right back at the edge of that. Make sure everything's meeting in center. Make sure they're not overlapping. Give it a good press. And now when we flip this over, you can see exactly what we're doing here for our bound buttonhole. Gorgeous. Now it's looking great, but we are not done sewing yet. We need this to be secure. So we're going to fold back the sides, and just like a welt pocket, we are going to sew right over this little area right here. Get the brighter chalk. So we're going to sew right there, right over the little triangle. And we're going to do that on both sides. So just to go extra smooth, you got to get really close to that existing stitch, like right next to it. So I put on my all-purpose zipper foot and I moved my needle all the way over to the left. And now we're going to be sewing right there across the base of that triangle. Add a couple back stitches. You want this to be nice and secure. We're going to sew to the bottom. You're going to add a couple back stitches. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So in the back of the welt that we just sewed, it's looking like that. You should have these 2 lines of stitches here on the side. Now we can cut away some of the extra at the center front line, so we can fold this back. We can cut away everything right beyond the little tip of that triangle. Now you might be thinking, why didn't we start with a smaller rectangle or square? You could, but it's just so much easier to have more to work with, and then cut away the rest. And then we'll flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. Now we need to make the other side where we drew the buttonhole an opening, so that way we can get through our buttonhole, because right now if we close the facing up in the back, obviously we can't get our button through the fabric, so we got to make an opening there. So we're going to do the same first process where we're going to draw the buttonhole on the excess piece of fabric that you have with interfacing, and we're going to line it up right on top. Again, you can fold it back, you can use some pins to make sure you're going in the exact same position. It's so important to make sure that this buttonhole is going to be in the exact same position as the other one on the other side. So now that I have that pinned in place, we're going to sew on the perimeter of the rectangle. So again, we're just sewing the perimeter of this rectangle here. When you get to your corners, make sure your needle's down, foot up, and turn. When you get back to where you started, I always like to overlap the stitches a little bit. If you like, you can add a little back stitch. Let's take it out. Now that we have this sewed, we're going to do some cutting just like we did before. We're going to snip those little triangles in there and at the center. So again, I always like to fold it in half, get a little slit in there, and then we can snip. Just remember, make sure you don't snip through your stitches. And now you guessed it, we are going to take all the fabric and push it through the hole to the back. So we're just going to push it right through the hole here to the back. Now that we have that fabric to the back, we're going to do some ironing. So we're going to head over to the ironing board and just iron it nice and flat. So now that that's nice and flat, we're actually going to cut away some of the excess. So we don't need all this excess fabric on here, especially at center front. We really just want to cut it down right past that triangle. And then on the other side too, we can cut this down. We can get rid of a bunch of this bulk inside, maybe leave an inch or a half inch around it. So I've got everything trimmed back. Now what we're going to do is take this and we're going to fold it in half. And there essentially is our bound buttonhole on the back. This is the inside of our garment, looking gorgeous. And then on the front, this is what our front looks like. Now we have to hold these two together. And since we're doing everything by machine, what we're going to do is add a little edge stitch right around the buttonhole, and it's going to catch in the back as well, right around the outside. And then we're done. So it doesn't matter where you start, but I am sewing from the right side of the fabric so I can really control how it's going to look on the outside. We miss a stitch in the back. You know what? Nobody's going to see it, but it really matters what it looks like on the outside. Go nice and slow for this. When you get to your corners, needle down, foot up, and turn. Add a couple back stitches and let's take it out. And here's our bound buttonhole all finished. And I did use contrast stitching today so you can see exactly where that stitch is. But if you use matching thread, you'll never even know that stitch is there. The nice thing about this method is that there's no hand sewing involved. You can use the sewing machine for all the steps. And you can see here on the back, we have the same clean finish. We've got the opening here for our button and we got that little stitch going around. Again, use matching thread. You'll never know it's there. I just use contrasting so that way you could see where we are stitching. And if you're working with a bulkier fabric, maybe a heavy wool, the fabric you use to finish the back of the hole, I would use something thinner, maybe like a lining fabric, but still interface it. So that way your buttonhole doesn't get too bulky. Okay, so moment of truth here. Let's see if our button is going to fit in our buttonhole. So we're going to push it through the back. Look at that sizing. Beautiful, perfect, popped right through. And then when you're wearing it, the button does cover the bound buttonhole. But when you undo it, you get to see all of your beautiful work. And that is how you can create bound buttonholes on your sewing machine. Way easier than you thought, huh? And don't forget, they look great on our one-piece jacket pattern. So if you want to make this jacket, make sure you check out our new pattern for it. If you have any buttonholes or closure techniques you would like to see, let me know what they are. Leave it down below in the comments. And thank you so much for watching Sewing Anastasia today. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. And if you already are a subscriber, thank you so much for watching today. These videos are for you guys. So let me know what other videos you would like to see coming up down below in the comments. And I would love to know, what kind of garments would you put bound buttonholes on? Have you tried them before, or are they completely new to you? Let us know. Leave it down below in the comments. And if you want to learn even more about sewing, make sure you check out my online courses and the sewing club, where you get a new pattern every single month. And if you want to know what's going on in the studio right now, well, make sure you check out the Instagram stories. Thank you so much for watching today. Bye!